Hello, YouTube. Yes, you read the title right, honey. You in the right space. This is DivaWuan's channel, and I am reviewing the 2019 EBT Awards, honey, aka the BET Awards. Honey, speaking of EBT, honey, your girl done finally got the hook up, and I'm darn gone about to be like a fat cat, honey. My cheeks about to be a little bit more plumper than usual, honey. Speaking of the EBT Awards, he only the black girls in the hood know what I'm trying to allude to. That's all I'm going to say on that. Just note that the girl is going to be eating quite lovely for the next few days. But speaking of eating lovely, after I got back from, the store and got my little snacks and stuff, I'm going to go back to that Save A Lot that I went to and get some plantains and stuff. Honey, I'm about to be getting healthy again. Hair about to be flourishing, honey. We about to be doing some things over here. But speaking of doing some things, Regina Hall had one thing to do. And she was about, But that's how it's always been over the past years. Like, nobody has ever lived up to darn gone Monique. Not even a fellow big sister. Queen Latifah, I think, was the last one that I really was vested into the BET Awards. Every year since, it's like Tracy Ellis Ross. I think they even had Tracy doing it for a couple years. And it was like, no. No, TV comedy and real life comedy are two totally different comedies. It's like, damn, could y'all at least gotten some more or somebody? Like, damn. Just dry. Y'all get these darn on TV darn on comedians and think that's the same as raw comedic talent. And it's like you got to have a presence for the BET Awards. Like, even if you don't have a presence, it's like you got to be somewhat skilled in hosting, even if you're not a comedian. So if you don't go the comedic route, you got to be someone that can command a presence, like a Tyler Perry or Oprah Winfrey, or even a Gayle King, Robin Roberts, some type of person like that that can still bring like a media commentator personality, like a Wendy Williams or somebody like that. Hell, they would have did good with Wendy Williams, those shady ass doggone hosting the doggone BET Award. But then again, it will be one person that be like, bitch, what about your marriage? And you see, she ain't on her own platform. Honey, that darn on shit, they be messy enough to let that shit go through. I can see everybody asking her about Kevin, so that's probably why they don't get old Wendell, Orthodox, Bartholomew Williams to host. But Regina Hall, honey, they're gonna host it. And I said, I wasn't going to look at it like I said, but then I said the Queen of Hip Hop Soul is being honored. It's been a while since I think I've seen somebody else that I actually admire be honored. So I said I'm going to watch everything. I'm not going to skip over no performances. I'm going to look throughout this whole thing, and I'm actually glad I did. Like I said, it was a good, decent 3.5 hours. So much so that I actually this another thing I normally don't do. I had to write 2 pages worth of notes. I'm not going to take the time to get all images off of Google or whatever that put throughout the video. I'm going to do my time stamps and everything. We're going to try to break down 3.5 hours worth of work within a half hour. I have to because my girl JV starting up in an hour and a half. Her live is on 7:30, and y'all know I'm going to catch the debates tonight. Um, Elizabeth Warren is up along with everybody else except for Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, who are going to be on night 2 with several other people. I think Kamala Harris is also going to be on night 2 as well. So I'm going to be watching both nights. They're from 9 to 11. I'm going to still have it on my DVR to take for my notes down in the morning. That way I can be more precise and to the point. I'm going to learn some stuff, like shout out to Forrest Rocks, my fellow Capricorn sister. I see that she have her notes and her darn on videos be going more precise, and she ain't jumping all over the place forgetting shit. So I want to start doing this from now on to get into the notes. So starting off with the EBT Awards. So Cardi B, honey. Hey, speaking of Cardi B, I finally seen that video. I seen a little snippet of the video going around this morning. I'm going to check it out. Honey, they say her court date is the day. And she done released the music video today. And the 30 seconds that I seen of the clip, honey, she darn got the judges darn yelling at her. She admitting to darn beating up bitches and darn who gonna run up on Cardi. She got the imagery. I said, ooh, this is a bold bitch, honey. This is very bold. You could be potentially put in darn gone jail. This is my last days. Put your lighters up. Put. Honey, are you darn gone trying to go for your version of a darn gone Little Kim documentary of your last days? Who remember that, honey? From back in 2006 when darn gone Little Kim had her little TV special of her last days before she had to darn gone go into, well, it ain't the pokey in there, but it's the darn gone clip cutter, honey. But honey, Miss Darn Cardi opened up the darn show. Um, Let me see what else I got in my notes. And actually, it was pretty good. Also, she had my boy Mr. Mooney up in there, the one that's known for the booty dances on Instagram. Miss Booty 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 Booty. Hey, I put him up here with all the goodies and stuff. Hopefully, I don't have to darn restrict this to my rated R like my darn what was my video called? Porn versus model etiquette. So I'm just going to give y'all one with them more clothed up, and that's it. But yeah, she darn gonna pay homage to Mr. Mooney with the darn gone dance number, and she was dressed fierce. I give you all this. Whoever is her ghostwriter, along with her darn gone visual production team, her marketers, honey, they do that. I don't give credit to the darn gone Cardi, honey. She's just a product. You can replace her with anybody. It's just her team. I'm more, as a marketer, I'm more fascinated with her team and her darn gone background of people versus her herself. Because like I said, she's just the front person. They could replace her with anybody else, and they could be just as popular. But the visuals in her videos are so breathtaking. Like I said, that's one thing I will give her this over Nicki Minaj, because I just seen Megatron, and I seen this video once again. Darn gone Nicki, come on, bitch. You letting Cardi just whoop your ass, and you know I'm not even I'm trying to side with you because you're more of a melanated sister. Really, I don't stand for neither one of y'all. So I can be truly unbiased on this, honey. Nicki gang, it ain't looking good. Cause that darn gone little 30 seconds I seen of darn gone Cardi's video even had my ass darn gone. Cardi gone on the wrist. Cardi gone on the wrist. Honey, darn gone had me going up for Miss darn gone Cardi. But honey, she did that at the BET Awards and was all synchronized and everything. And I said, come on, Cardi. And it's so much so that she was one of the darn highlights of the night. And I was like, ooh, they definitely woke up the show with an opening performer. I mean, her darn thing could have been more of a midway act, because that thing was up there with the darn stuff. But I guess it was a good opener. But then we got into Regina Hall. So then Regina Hall, going into the second thing, failed attempt to rep DC, honey. She darn gonna call herself giving homage to Beachella, and it was more like a fake honey versus real honey. Y'all know you got the fake honey that looks like this, and then you got the real honey that looks like this. You know, people be buying this the honey that looks like the bear that actually got an expiration date, that got all types of preservatives and stuff darn gonna mix into it that ruins the quality of the honey. It's also stretched with darn gonna high fructose corn syrups and other things. Versus the real honey don't have an expiration date, and it actually supposed to crystallize over a certain amount of months. So if your honey is actually rock hard and crystallized in your cabinet in a couple months, that's the legitimate honey, versus the one that always stay uniform and just comes out that silky gold color. That's actually the fake honey. And Regina Hall was giving darn gone old fake honey teas. Darn gone, I'm like, damn, one minute you trying to act like you're darn gone Beyonce, next moment you trying to act like you darn gone old girl. What's her name? The one that does the choreography for Lady Gaga and P Diddy and all that. I leave her floating up here somewhere. I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now. But she's a very famous choreographer. She was giving me that type of bitch for tease, but you don't got the talent that she does, though, to be darn on this darn even in a pretend sense. But yeah, once we got past that, her failed attempt at repping DC, honey, I was like, damn, DC, child, it ain't looking good for darn District of Columbia, honey. They couldn't find nobody else. Like, But anyways, Then we go into one of the reward announcements, and for a split second, I thought my screen was playing tricks on me. I said, "Oh my God, darn on Prince on a resident," and that's why they should have darn on had a show enough comedian, because that darn on presenter they had looking like Prince. I wish I could darn on put his picture up in here, but I don't even know his name. I ain't even get his name to even put his image up. But he looked like a tan version of darn on Prince, like a brown skinned Prince, but the great value broke down version. Like if it was a show enough comedian like Samora or Queen Latifah, not Queen Latifah, but Monique. Hell, even Queen Latifah could have cracked the darn gone joke. Like she's a TV comedian, she could have did enough where she could have darn gone made a little skit about darn gone Prince darn resurrected from the darn gone dead. You look a little bit tan. You been darn gone doing your darn gone Purple Rain in hell. Honey, we knew your darn gone fast ass didn't make it to darn gone heaven. Darn gone about looking like my golden complexion. What's going on, Prince? Who's also down there in hell with you, honey? Shout out to Mike. No, they might have would have got you with that one. But see, they should have had me for the motherfucking BET Awards, because I would have went there. I would have darn gone said, I would have darn gone acted like Prince done a resurrected from hell. I would have made a jig at Michael Jackson's spot and say, well, how Joe doing now and then? I would have darn gone went all the way there. And then as the person would have clapped back at me and told me that he ain't Prince, I would have said, I should have known that you ain't Prince any damn way. Because Prince that was never cheap with his darn gone fashions. P.S. darn gone David's bridal called and they want their darn gone tuxedo back. See, I would have darn gone gave it to him like that. But of course it would have been more flowing because you had time to prep for the jokes versus me thinking of what I would do off the rip. But it's like Regina Hall, we understand you ain't a comedian, but you had time to rehearse these stuff. We seen you darn gone doing the choreography and stuff. Honey, fuck the darn gone choreography. You ain't no motherfucking darn gone performer darn gone doing anything. You should have been rehearsing your darn gone lines, because your darn gone jokes were falling flat throughout the whole motherfucking night. You was darn gone falling flat throughout the whole night. It finally picked up once you started talking about DC again, but we're going to get to that in a moment. But after doggone Great Value, Prince done a sashayed up off the stage. Oh, and she came up with another fell attempt. And it's like, girl, even if you not know some more, no Adele Givens, you should have had the power with BET behind you to reach out to these people to darn gonna give you some darn gonna insights of what to do when it comes to this. Like, I'm surprised she did not consult Monique. Honey, Monique would have been more than gracious. My loves. Honey, how much she's saying my loves and stuff, how she's for her women. I'm sure she would have been darn gone able to darn gonna give you a free console of what to do at the BET Awards. Now, you would never been able to match half her talent, though. But, honey, you could at least brought 1/10 of it if you would have got some advice from the darn gone baddest that's ever done it at the BET Awards. Like, come on now. Even if you didn't get Monique, you could have got Adele Givens. You could have got Sherry Shepherd, Lonnie Love. Like, come on now. You couldn't find nobody. Nobody. You didn't find nobody. You had 50 Cent darn gonna pop up on the screen and act like you owe money. And you couldn't ran with that, with 50 Cent being a character within himself. Like, there's so many shit that she could have did with that darn gone little joke moment right there. She could have darn gone said, it's just like a darn gone trifling brother that darn gonna try to pull up on you on your job and take you out your white woman. Now, you know BET done became integrated over the years. I would have went, like I said, I'm the person that would have been off the cuff. I would have went there to the point where the producers would be like, oh shit. I would have been like, now you know BET supposed to now stand for bringing everybody together. And here your black ass come calling me out. Now you gonna make me have to take this white girl wig off and go motherfucking darn gone Regina DC up on that motherfucking ass. You don't pull up on my motherfucking job asking me for no motherfucking money. Matter of fact, bitch, just for you trying to act motherfucking cute, you gonna wait till my darn gone paycheck for the next movie. Holler at me on the motherfucking next darn gone opportunity, motherfucker. Now you roll up in here if you want to. I'm the host. I have my security on standby for your motherfucking darn gone 50 cent and a half of a dollar ass. I understand that you're going through some bankruptcy right now, but you ain't going to darn gonna intimidate me, honey. Like, it's so much shit she could have did just off the darn gone riff. And like I said, I'm not even a comedian. I feel like I'm darn gonna landing better than her on the darn gone joke front. But it's like you had Taraji there. You could have had Taraji do a whole Kanye West moment and be like, Regina girl, I'm gonna let you finish. But I just want to shout out Empire, which is also in its final season since Lala Anthony and them was mentioning about Power, which is owned by 50 Cent. So you could have had darn gone Taraji P. Henson slide on in and made her little jip, her little jab back on because he mentioned something about Empire as a clapback to Vivica A. Fox because Vivica plays Taraji P. Henson's older sister, so he darn gonna shaded the whole show because that show was in direct competition anyways with his show Power, which he created immediately after Empire. So you could have had Taraji do a Kanye West moment and darn gone shout it out darn gone Empire. And then as she's trying to mention about owing 50 Cent money, she could have did a jab like, oh, there ain't nobody studying that motherfucking factor. Like there, and then got Evelyn Lozada, and I'm sure she was out there somewhere. You could have darn gone then had the camera pan to Evelyn Lozada. You could have done a whole playful moment right there. Another thing is you could have really been grimy enough, and I would have been grimy enough to have Taraji P. Henson shout out Empire, and then all of a sudden the older sister comes out, honey. None other than Vivica herself. I would have been messy enough to bring Vivica on up there and darn gonna add her 2 cents to Miss darn gonna Mr. Curtis, honey. Mr. darn gonna like to get the booty lick Curtis, allegedly, to hear what Vivica said, honey. She said she was out there darn gonna putting the tongue in the place, honey. I would have been ruthless at the darn gonna BET Awards. Shit, that's probably why they don't never allow no YouTuber to darn gonna do it. Because they know we'll be too real up on that move. Even down to somebody like me with with hardly no subscribers, honey. I could have brought the motherfucking darn on stage presence more than darn on Regina Hall. But going after that failed attempt, honey, she done failed twice thus far with these darn on comedic reads. It ain't getting no better throughout this whole show. So next we go to Lizzo performance, honey. I wasn't familiar with Lizzo. Some of you, one of my darn gone fellow classmates got on me about Lizzo being an icon, this, that, and the third. I don't know where she was an icon at, cause honey, she walked on by for me, honey. She supposed to be in the same arena as Queen Latifah. Then I was like, well, hell, I'm familiar with them. I'm familiar with this is I see why more than a little bit. Who you calling a bitch? And y'all know Missy Elliott is my favorite MC of all time and well deserved. She's the third darn woman recently inducted into the third rapper inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, first rapper to be inducted into it as a female, highest selling female rapper in the history of music, highest selling female rapper in the history of music, and most innovative rapper in the history of music. Written 8 times for Beyonce, written darn on Whitney Houston's last album, written for Toni Braxton, written the top hits for Keisha Cole, Sierra's biggest hits, Fantasia's first biggest hit, Free Yourself. She has done numerous darn on songs that nobody do not even think of Missy Elliott doing. She even still does it to this day with writing songs for darn on Ariana Grande and this generation right here. So her darn on respects are much due. So with that being said, has Missy Elliott been honored yet? Now I'm thinking maybe they finally honor her within one of these years. I'm gonna have to look back, but honey, I need Missy Elliott to finally get her darn honoree at the darn BET Awards. I ain't trying to shade Mary J. Blige's moment, but comparing accolades and darn monumental impact, Missy Elliott is a little bit more up there in my opinion. But we ain't going to compare queens. They could both get the title. But I'm just saying, because Mary J. Blige, honey, she put us through the emotions and stuff too. But I'm just saying, it's time for Missy Elliott to be up for that nomination next year. Since y'all darn gonna finally listen to the Aunt Tina and y'all recognizing people while they are alive instead of dead, We need to darn gone also honor darn gone Missy Elliott next year, honey. But speaking of Missy Elliott, getting back on to the subject, Lonnie who grew up with them as far as in that rap era of, you know, TLC and Salt and Pepper. Who else? MC Light and all that. And you know, MC Light is the iconic host. She got the perfect media voice for the darn narrating every single year at the BET Awards. She's supposed to be in that, and I can see why. She's very multifaceted, representing it for the plus size girls. I put a image of her right here. But honey, Miss Thing was just getting it, honey. Matter of fact, if I'm technical enough, I might include some images of the video, but just put it on mute. Don't y'all darn go. If y'all don't see it, honey, I haven't learned yet, and I'm pressed for time. Y'all know I'm getting ready for this job next week. We're gonna see if I can step my editing game up and have her floating up here performing. But honey, she was darn gone singing on top of a wedding cake. Then she got into doing some hip hop. Then she darn gonna hit the motherfucking flute. I said, what? This bitch, the honey, and then darn gonna plus size booty shaking it, honey. I ain't seen booty shaking skills like that since darn gonna Monique was hitting the dun 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 dun. Honey, I ain't seen that much booty shaking since darn gonna Monique paid homage to the Queen Bee, baby. Not the Queen Bee that's coming up, but the darn gone Queen Bee with a Y, darling. Not B with an E, but B with a Y. So with that being said, she done hit that flute, and then she went into darn gone hitting them notes. Oh, 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 I said, come on, girl. You giving darn gone vocals with reticence in it. You darn gonna hitting the flute. Then you giving us darn gone big woman voice talking about bitch. I said, come on, raspy queen, yes. Honey, Miss Thing was doing that. Lizzo was the top performer, and you know, shade Mary J. Blige, you came in a good second for me. But baby, in order of the top 3 performers of the night, Lizzo took the crown for me, honey. Just the fact that she was able to darn gonna play a flute, then she was able to sing, she was able to give us hip hop. Then Mary J. Blige came in second. Then darn gone Cardi B came in a good third, baby, because honey, she was darn gone hitting it with that choreography. That darn gone I say playback because she was singing enough live, even though the lip sync was taking over a good 50% of the time, but she sung enough live where I can say she was doing some playback. But yeah, Miss darn gone Lizzo did that for me. So after Lizzo, then Miss Thing finally picked up on the commentary. Miss Dargon Regina Hall, because then she got into mentioning more about DC and the gentrification and how she started making jokes that were starting to land about certain streets being the original 24-hour fitness club. It was known as the Dargon Host Stroll and all of that. Then she made jokes about Tyrone being in prison because he was a street Dargon salesman and his license credentials weren't verified. Like, she was starting to make the jokes that was starting to finally land on when she started mentioning about the gentrification. And then she made an excellent segue into rapper Little Nas, who has the country hit darn on Old Town Road, which he then performed with Billy Ray Cyrus. Old cabin in the bag, ooh, the Monterey, ooh, got him with no. And speaking of darn on Old Town Road, has anybody heard the remix with Cardi B? Honey, Cardi just jumping on everything, honey. And I actually look somewhat like it. I don't like her being all out and about. It's like, but still, for what she's doing, honey, she was even good on the little remix that I heard. I said, well, hot damn. Even on Old Town Road, take me to the Old Town Road, country in a bag, woman and a swag. I said, damn, this bitch even getting it on the Old Town Road mix, honey. But honey, that would have really been good if she would have darn gone if they would have flipped the song and allowed Cardi to finish out and come back up on the stage, because that was a good little seconds that she had putting her rap verses on the darn gone song. He was sounding more country, and then she came in with rap bars. Versus Lil Nas on this, he's giving rap compared comfortable to Billy Ray Cyrus's country vocals. And speaking of Lil Nas, honey, he finally beat out. He has stayed on the number 2 spot. I'm at the number 1 spot for the past 3 weeks, keeping Taylor Swift at number 2. I'm glad that somebody finally darn gone. Our people are finally getting recognized for their darn gone works. I'm glad we have mentioned, and I love how Regina Hall mentioned how Little Nas is taking country music back, alluding to the fact that country music started with us and we got kicked out of our own shit. And now he's darn gone blocking Taylor Swift from getting the number 1 spot. Because it should be where it should be a black person, rightfully so, at the number 1 spot of the genre of the music that they originally created, honey. So she was dropping some darn gone educational gems up in there, honey. But honey, shout out to Lil Nas X, just winning all the way around. Have Cardi B on the remix track that he just did. Billy Ray Cyrus darn gone help them get on the country music charts, even though it shouldn't have been needed, because it's like, who is a white person to have to give validation? Now, granted that Billy Ray Cyrus was doing it after the archaism of his heart, but the fact that it was even required for him to even jump on the song, because you got darn on racist country artists in they motherfucking feelings darn on blocking the shit. So shout out to Billy Ray Cyrus for darn on helping somebody get put on as far as where they supposed to be in their own genre of music. But the fact that it was even needed is an insult within itself. But then some of these main people then be talking about they don't got no racism in themselves. Oh Lord, this video gonna be a little bit longer than I thought, y'all. I got a whole second page to go to, and I'm just at the bottom of this one. But after that, after Lil Nas X, then you have the City Girls, which I'm still not too familiar with. I'm not familiar with all these new artists, except from the popular songs that I've heard on the radio and from media like Ella May. I've heard her song "Booed Up." Boot up, oh, boot up, oh. Like I've heard Boot Up and a couple other songs and Cash Doll and all them, but I'm not familiar with their whole discovery. But City Girls came out and they did pretty good. Okay, going on to my second page of notes, y'all. So after City Girls, oh, now this was one of the highlights of the night. BET allowed the Central Park 5 to present their next award, and it was nice for them to get honored as far as being at the BET Awards and spreading awareness of the atrocities that has happened. And during the wake of the reparations movement, I think it is key to highlight people who have gone through such atrocities. That would make for a great argument for us as black people to finally get what is economically, not just financially, but systematically what is owed to us as black people. We need to put more people such as the Central Park on 5 to highlight how when it comes to us, cops and stuff were able to circumvent laws and feel comfortable about it and throwing people in jail and just throwing people's lives upside down. So with that being said, we need to continue highlighting, injustices that are done upon everybody, including, like I said, most importantly, black people who are the most disenfranchised, systematically and economically depressed in America. By no fault of our own, but just the mere color of our skin and the texture of our hair. Some of us having more wider noses and bigger lips. So with that being said, it was nice to see the Central Park 5 present the next award at the BET Awards. So now, going on to more of a light note and getting out of the seriousness of subjects, because we'll talk more about reparations and stuff in a politic talk video. But to keep it back on more of a positive note, Rihanna, come on, Miss Rihanna. Rihanna, oh, what's the name? Rihanna, oh, what's the name? Honey, I've been rocking with Miss Rihanna since SOS. I seen it when it came out in 2005. I was at the doctor's office and I seen this Caribbean girl come on the TV, darn on bronzed up in gold and the green. Na 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 na. Oh, now technically I know that's her second album, but I always want to think that's her first album. Um, she came out with one first, Ponder Replay. But I'm familiar with her from the darn on SOS era, honey. SOS, so someone help me. And then everybody was chopping their hair off. She had people darn on chopping their hair off, changing colors. You know, she done went black with the good girl gone bad era. You know what is a different era when darn on Rihanna changes her hair. That became the trend with Riri. But honey, the darn on hair icon, honey, honored the icon of hip hop and soul, baby. So it was nice that they had an icon honor another icon because it's like I do now consider Rihanna that icon of our generation because it's like she's truly multifaceted. She's truly been in multiple genres of music. She has sold over 200 some million darn on singles. She is now ranked as the highest paid she's the highest grossing. I can't think today. No, Beyonce is the highest grossing touring black artist. However, Rihanna. Okay, now I got too much knowledge up here, y'all. It all gets jumbled up together. So Beyonce is the highest touring black entertainer of all time, superseding Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, and all of them. However, when it comes to net worth, Rihanna is now considered the highest paid black female in the game. She's worth $600 million, and Beyonce is right behind her at just $450 million. So with that being said, Beyonce is in second and Rihanna is in first. Numerous accolades, and she presents the legendary award to Mary J. Blige, which we see her discovery that she was introduced in 1992 by P. Diddy. And then from there, she was the first woman to, I mean, the first person, not just woman, not black, but first person to ever be nominated for an Oscar for both her singing and her acting ability. So she was the first to be nominated simultaneously in 1 year for an acting category and a music category. So in addition to that, she has sold over 80 million albums worldwide with 13 albums. 8 of those 13 albums have gone multi-platinum, 12 American Music Awards, and 9 Grammys. So going through her long list of resumes that solidifies her legendary status in the game, her timeless music that has stood the test of time. And I'm glad darn on Mary J. Blige told the world that yes, she is a legend. Which I darn on, if y'all ain't following me on Instagram, y'all miss all the little quick tidbits of my darn on reads that I throw up on my Instagram. Cause I made sure the darn on say Dion, are you listening? Are you listening, Dion? Because while y'all was so quick to put Beyonce down, because some of y'all don't go up for the Queen Bee, honey. B with a Y, honey. We going to get to the other B in a moment. But y'all was so quick to darn gonna jump on Dr. Warrior's defense, y'all didn't realize that y'all was disrespecting legends like darn gone Mary J. Blige, who may not have been in the game 40 years, but honey, her music has stood the test of time, and it's darn gone a hit that darn gone transcends to all generations. She has gone into multiple genres of music. She has paved the way for a different generation. She's an inspiration to plenty of people. And she is still humble with herself. Something that we don't see of Miss Dionne Warwick. You think you can become darn on 70 years old and think you can darn on escape a good read, but honey, I'm from the South, and darn on humbleness. I mean, respect is earned and not necessarily given. Your darn on age don't necessarily darn on shield you from a darn on reading. Now it will shield you from a dragon, but it ain't gonna shield you from this darn gonna read through the motherfucking computer. So with that being said, honey, all due respects to the darn gone legendary queen of hip hop soul. Once again, Dion, what is you the queen of, honey? Because Michael Jackson was the king of pop. Tina Turner was the queen of R&B. I mean, Tina Turner was the queen of rock and roll. I want to say my Janet was deemed the princess of pop, along with Madonna. Then came this generation with Beyonce in the '90s, going up into the 2000s. Then you got hip hop soul with Mary J. Blige. Dion, where you at, boo boo? Leave it at that, honey. But after Mary J. Blige got her darn on awards or whatever, get back on to more positive subject. I hate the darn on jumped off into darn on a little bit reading mode, but I felt that it was needed, honey. The darn on recognize why legends can be honored at the 20-year mark, and we don't have to wait till somebody's damn near on death's door to finally give them their accolades. Give them their accolades while they here. If they darn gonna put in the darn gonna work and darn gonna accolades, they deserve to be respected as soon as they can. Not darn gonna being old as darn gonna Patty Mays, bitch. So with that being said, Queen of Hip Hop and Soul gave us a sickening performance. Honey, darn gonna showed you that she's not no one trick pony where you can only hear her music in a certain demographic of 50-year-olds that darn gonna own up. You don't have to have an AARP card to listen to Mary J. Blige. You don't have to be in a retirement home to listen to darn gone Mary J. Blige in heavy rotation. You don't have to be in the grocery store to hear darn gone Mary J. Blige music. Mary J. Blige ran through her entire resume and showed you that she has the darn gone songs for the sad days, the songs for the good days. Don't, you gon' marry me. I say, why, oh, why? And then she went into fine, 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 woo, woo. Like what I see when I'm looking at me, when I walk up past the mirror, mirror. Honey, the only thing she was missing was some of the songs off the Tony Bennett album, the London Sessions. And then I would have loved for her to darn gone did a little bit of touch it, ring it, babe, want to turn it, leave it, top of man. Honey, I would have loved for her to brought out the crew for that one, honey. And we would have got a little bit of hip hop Mary praising about her accolades, because that's the time that you should have praised yourself, Mary. Honey, 750,000 first week of my sales as I'm doing my nails. Touch it, ring it, babe, watch it, turn it, leave it, top of man. Honey, that would have really did it for me. If darn gone Mary would have flexed on their ass, I would have been here for it. But she was darn gone doing her signature leg kicks and darn gone doing her thigh shimmy, honey. She was darn gone giving y'all that signature Mary 1-2 step, baby. And she was going into it. And my thing is, I felt that it should have been longer. I felt that Mary was still cheated overall. I mean, it was good that overall she honored herself, because nobody really can do it like Mary. And it's like, yeah, nobody can't do it like Mary. You can't just have Mary sit down. Mary is one of those rare people where she got to perform her own stuff. Nobody can't even emulate Mary, but all the people that she has collabed with, I would have just loved. The only gripe that I have with this was I would have loved to see more. They should have gave her more time. They should have gave her some more time. They should have got Drake up there. She got 2 songs with Drake. I think she got some. Like I said, they could have got Tony Bennett up there. They could have got Timberland and all them, Missy Elliott. Touch it, ring it, babe, watch it, turn it, leave it, top of man. Like, she got so many darn on collabs that she could have helped surround that, where I felt the performance was too short for somebody who was being honored with the Legendary Award. Like, they should have had a whole dedicated set of like a good 15-20 minutes for the darn gone queen of darn gone hip hop. So that's just my 2 cents. I felt cheated. I felt cheated out of my darn gone time. You darn gone tease us with just a little bit, and you got the queen of hip hop soul being honored. Come on now. So after that, then we go to another touching moment that I said, oh, somebody check on Miss Nikki Parker. Nikki! Honey, I know Monique was looking through the darn gone screen. I was like, girl, I know. But honey, you know darn gone BET darn gone now partner with Miss darn gone Mud to the DEA. So you know they got the darn gone put 20 on 10 with this archerism, honey. So honey, darn gone, they have Taraji P. Henson darn gone talking about she got her first real quote from Tyler Perry But then, like Monique said, just because he paid you the highest that you ever got paid, have you gotten paid what you really worth? Just because they paying you the highest that you've ever received in your life, are you paid more? Like Walmart pays what, $11 an hour, which is more than the state minimum wage of $7.25. But are you getting paid a living wage though? So Walmart is paying you more than anybody else typically is paying you, but they still not paying you what you are worth, and that's the key thing. And so I just knew darn gone Monique was darn gonna give him one of these faces. I know she was giving that darn gone, or she was giving one of these numbers right here. She was giving one of them two motherfucking looks at that darn gone Taraji P. Henson, baby. But moving on, Tyler Perry came onto the stage and he revealed a very interesting revelation about his studio used to be owned by the Confederates. You know, the Confederates were against abolishing slavery. And he mentioned about how so many black people were held by the Confederates in that building, over 300. Now that building went from being owned by Confederates to being owned by one Negro, i.e. Tyler Perry. So he went into that spiel of giving the history of Georgia and the racism with the Confederates and how he took it back and how he purposely put the building in the most poverty-stricken black neighborhood to show that we can succeed. It went from being owned by Confederates to now being owned by one of the richest black men in America, and encourage young, struggling black kids that are growing up that you can aspire to get to this level too. He mentioned about how the women and what shapes the characters of the women in all his plays are due to the women that he grew up with, from the mama playing cards, and I bet you she was playing that good old tunk honey, because if you grew up in the South, you know about that tunk honey. And don't get me started on that ID Clearwater. You ain't truly a southern back alley country girl until you know how to play some spades, some darn gone tunk, and some ID Clearwater, baby. ID Clearwater, tunks, and darn gone motherfucking spades, bitch. And I also know how to shoot a little bit of dice, baby. But yeah, while that mama was playing darn on tongue honey, he was talking about the abusive relationship that she went through, and how other stories about the women that were surrounded by her mama, and all the stories they were told, and that helped shape the career of Madea, having over 1,000 hours worth of darn on video time on TV, having numerous movies, employing the most black people out of any black director that has ever done it. And it was a very touching story overall. I really liked it. So then we went from that to BET always have to have a Christian moment. They done cut the Christian moment down too tough. They said, now y'all, there ain't nobody here for all this darn old Negro spiritual. I know it's Sunday, but hun, don't nobody want to hear them old hymns and shit. So they done cut down the darn what used to be like 30, 40 minutes back in the day to, because I remember when the BET Awards used to be like an all-day event. It's like that shit used to be on for like 5 hours at a time. Now they done cut it down to like 3 hours and a half, because the Christian moment used to be like a good solid 45 minutes to an hour within itself back in the day. But now they done cut it down to like 20 minutes. And they had Miss Kirk Franklin, honey. And we're going to talk about Kirk Franklin in a moment on another video, because somebody made mention about gay people and reparations, honey. And I got to mention darn on Miss Kirk. Honey, not Kirk from Love and Hip Hop, but Miss darn on Kirk, them tight Miss Pants. Honey, come on for the community, baby. Honey, darn on Kirk Franklin was out there with Erica Campbell, and then leading the praise break, and then it came out darn on Kelly Price. So they darn on did their thing on the Christian front, and like I said, we're gonna bring up darn on Kirk Franklin in this darn on reparations for LGBT in another video. So if y'all like what y'all hearing thus far, like, comment, share, subscribe, and click that bell notification to hear about my thoughts on that. But moving on, then we had Morris Chestnut come out and honor the late great director John Singleton. John Singleton was the youngest director that come out at the time. He was 23 years old, and he directed Boys in the Hood, which was Morris Chestnut first movie, which came out back in the I think it came out during my birth year, 1993, if I'm not mistaken. So that was good to see right there. Then they just kept us heavy on. So now we closing out the night with the memorials, honey. They started flashing everybody on the screen that done a pass. Oh, I forgot. Let me circle back, honey. It was also good to see the legendary Cicely Tyson, also in Tyler Perry's mention as well. I forgot to mention, darn on Miss darn on Cicely was giving black excellence. And why y'all like to darn on wear these shirts with darn on with these white darn on people on it, y'all want to be talking about Rockefeller and what's the other blonde hair woman name? Oh my God, I can't think of her name, but everybody who's black or white in general always reps this blonde woman on her on their shirt. And I would love, while we honor that person, we also need to honor the black icons in our community. Like we need to have more of Eartha Kitt's. We need to have the Donna Summers on our shirts and the legendary Cicely Tyson. Just my 2 cents on that. This is we talking about black entertainment television, but before it was bringing everybody together, it was black entertainment television. So throw that gem about there. Y'all go ahead and start making some darn on Cicely shirts, honey. She's been everybody's grandma since 1960, honey. Even in 1960, they darn on had her playing somebody's grandma. Y'all go ahead and make a shirt of darn on Grandma Cicely Tyson, baby. But anyways, going back to the memorials, honey, they darn on then had Lauren London and them T.I., honey. Mr. Darn on Big Tip T.I., honey. That might be another Adult Friday topic right there with Mr. Tip, honey. Mr. Darn on Tip up there, honey, was darn on mentioning about Nipsey Hussle and his philanthropy towards the community and everything else. Family came up there. Grandma said a nice speech and kept it overall PC. But honey, that mama was repping it for the Eatria community, honey. Shout out to my Eatria and darn gone brothers and sisters. No, I'm not one of y'all, mate. Honey, I got this little nose from native heritage. I'm Dominic Congolese, baby. Because I know some of y'all like to claim me over there. I have some of y'all Etrians and Ethiopians, and I'm so honored that y'all, take me in at times under y'all ring in the East African community. But speaking of the East African community, I guess I would still be considered East African because y'all know I'm a huge fan of the Dr. Mumby Saraki show. Shout out to Dr. Mumby Saraki. I will put her beautiful face right up and through here and her video to her channel down below. We like supporting our fellow black YouTubers over here, and people overall who are just good commentators in general. But Dr. Mummy Saraki mentioned about how the Democratic Republic of the Congo is actually joining the East African community. They're going to be labeled under the East African umbrella. So I guess in a way I would be one of your fellow, East African sisters as soon as they get finalized and the Congo is recognized in that 7 countries of East Africa. But yeah, she's from Etria, and she was talking about how she thought something wasn't right. That they said that her son died at a certain location, yet that location didn't have no blood splatter and all that. And they didn't move. He didn't. It's not like he could have got shot and he fell in the area because there wasn't no blood at all in that area. And sure enough, as she was getting into the good details. Now I don't know if they cut her off on the regular thing. I'm willing to say it probably kept going through. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it cut off on my DVR. Now my DVR midway through her speech, it cut off. Now I don't know if on the real thing because you know how the TV guide when you set the DVR, if a show runs over, it's gonna still cut off at the time that it was listed to cut off. So it's like if they had it scheduled for 3.5 hours and the BET Awards ran over just like 7 minutes, I didn't get to see that last 7 minutes. So I'm hoping they really did cut her off because from what they cut her off at, Regina Hall didn't even close the show out. And I can't see them not closing the show out. I can see maybe they cut her mic off or, they segued to a commercial as she was speaking and then Regina Hall came back and closed out the BET Awards. But I don't want to believe that they actually, because I haven't seen nothing on YouTube to suggest that that happened. And I would think if something like that did happen, honey, I would hear all of Black YouTube going off right about now. So the fact that I haven't heard Black YouTube go off and the BET Awards was Sunday and the day is now Wednesday, what happened with me is, I guess, you know, as I watched it today, I unfortunately didn't catch the last bit of her speech, but she was giving a very powerful speech alluding to the fact that her son was set up. They were saying that this is what happened, but her eyes was showing a whole different story. So my heart really go out to the Hustle family. Like I said, shout out to our Etrian brothers and sisters. It's very unfortunate what happened to Nipsey Hussle. Hopefully, Lord London and them, despite still being in the state of mourning, is continuing the philanthropy that Nipsey Hussle has put forth in the community out in Cali. So that was it on that. Just to summarize, Regina, overall, she was an okay host. She picked up more as the show went on. Like I said, when she got into talking about the gentrification of DC and how she tied it in with Little Nas' role, taking country music black and highlighting black excellence, honey, that was the highlight of her darn whole moment right there. When she talked about that, that was the best part of that whole commentary that she was doing as the host of the BET Awards. But overall, I rate the BET Awards. I want to be generous. I say a B minus. I would have gave them a C if it went for Mary J. Blige. The fact that they honor, you know, somebody who is definitely um a legend in this game, unlike what, you know, what Diane Warwick would have you. She'll darn gonna make it seem like you got to be on death's door to darn gonna be recognized, honey. But Mary J. Blige gives this a B minus. Cardi B cutting up a B minus, honey. Now all these performances were A plus, but overall, balancing out the whole content of the show, it was a B minus. But the performances that were A plus was um, Cardi B, Lizzo, and the legendary Mary J. Blige. Um, Old Town Road for me was a good solid B plus. Like I said, it would have been an A for me if they would have darn on jumped Cardi back on there and did her little rap version that she just got out lately. That would have been good right there. But anyways, that is the BET Awards in a nutshell. I will have the timestamps below. I'm sorry it ran over. I tried my best, but honey, I still darn on short. At least I ain't darn gonna go because you know some people be darn on going over darn on stuff and it be just as long as the show. So it ain't as bad. 3.5 hours, I managed to summarize in 52 minutes. So, with that being said, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.